A very good morning to everyone. And I want to ask you something today. Of course, I know all of you are very honest with your answers. But whenever you go out, when you leave the house for whatever work you want, maybe your office, maybe for shopping, anything. But many a times you change your outfit at least once, not because you were cold or warm, but because you wondered what someone else might think. Or how many of you have ever stopped yourself from saying something at a family dinner, not because you were wrong, but because you didn't want to upset anyone? Or let's say, how many of you have agreed to do something, nodded along, smiled politely, even when everything inside you was screaming, no, this is not okay? Don't worry, you are in a very good company today. And what I'm about to share with you is something most people know in their hearts, but rarely dare to say out loud. Today, we talk about one of the most invisible habits that quietly robs us of our peace, our joy, our very identity. We talk about approval seeking behavior. So, just to begin the conversation, the opening thought is like if you live for approval, you lose your identity. Yes. If you live for approval, you lose your identity. So think about that for a moment. Not just as a motivational line, but as a mirror. How much of what you do every single day is truly your choice? And how much of it is performed for an audience? You know what a puppet is, right? Cute little thing, and makes everyone laugh, makes everyone clap. But here's the thing about a puppet, it only moves when someone pulls its strings. Take away the strings, the puppet collapses, it has no will of its own. So, approval seeking behavior is nothing but invisible strings. You can't see them, but they pull you every single day. So let me show you what I mean, because this isn't just a theory, this is our real life. Let me tell you about Kavita. She's 52. She's run her household for 25 years, managing children, finances, relationships, festivals, emergencies, all of it. She's essentially the CEO of a small organization. But every time someone asks her, what do you do? She says with a small apologetic, कुछ नहीं, बस घर संभालती हूँ. Nothing much. Why? Not because she believes it, but because she spent years waiting for someone to say, wow, that's impressive. And when it never came, she started saying to herself, that, friends, is approval seeking. Not seeking permission, seeking worth, and giving others the power to define it for you. Okay, let me take another example of Meena. She's 45, manager at her office. She's sharp, capable, and runs her team brilliantly. But in every meeting, before she opens her mouth, she looks around the room. Will they think I'm being too aggressive? Will the senior people think I'm overstepping? So she softens her words. She adds, I could be wrong, but before every suggestion. She frames her best ideas as questions so no one feels challenged. And then every single time, A male colleague repeats the same idea 5 minutes later with confidence and gets the credit. Did Meena lack the skill? No. Did she lack the idea? Definitely not. But she lacked the permission she was silently waiting for from others to simply be herself. And then, for the gentleman in the room, oh, this is a women issue. We don't need to ask. We don't need to, seek approval. But that is not true. Let me tell you about Suresh. He's 58, a respected man, father of two, hard worker, good person. 3 years ago, he discovered he loves painting, not just dabbling. He's genuinely talented. But every time someone asks about his hobby, he says, "Arey, time pass hai, kuch nahi." Why? Because he's terrified that people will say, "At this age, painting? What kind of a grown man does that?" So Suresh hides a piece of himself, a beautiful, joyful, alive piece of himself, and shoves it into a drawer, waiting for a day that never comes because the permission he's looking for, it can only come from within. So what is approval seeking really? At its root, it is fear, fear of rejection, fear of being judged, fear of not being enough. And ironically, the more we seek approval, the less we get of what we actually want, which is genuine connection and respect. Because people don't deeply respect those who agree with everything, they respect those who stand for something. Every time you choose approval over truth, you send yourself a message. My real self is not acceptable. And slowly you start believing it. But here's the beautiful, liberating truth. Confidence is not born from people clapping for you. It is built every time you choose honesty over approval. Every time you say, "This is what I think, and this is what I feel, this is who I am," even if the room goes quiet. Not everyone needs to agree with you. That is not the goal of life. The goal is to live it fully, authentically, on your own terms. So now, here is something I want to leave you with, not just as a thought, but as an action. Today, do one thing without seeking anyone's validation. It doesn't have to be dramatic, it can be small. Like order what you actually want at dinner, not what seems appropriate. Share an opinion in a conversation without the qualifier, "I could be wrong," but wear the color you love, not the one your relatives approve of. Say, "I think this is a good idea," instead of "What do you all think?" Just one thing, without the strings. Notice how it feels. It may feel uncomfortable at first, like stretching a muscle you've never used. That's okay. Stretch it anyway. Because you were not born to perform, you were born to be. The world has enough people wearing masks. It is absolutely starving for people who are real. So when you stop seeking approval, something remarkable happens. You stop attracting people who only love your performance, and you start drawing in people who genuinely love your presence. And that is the gift of authenticity, the life waiting on the other side of these invisible strings. So here's my invitation to you right now in this room. Today, when you walk out of here, cut one string, just one. And tomorrow, cut another and another. You don't have to burn the puppet. You just have to choose one day at a time to move on your own. So we can say, free the puppet in you. You'll feel liberated. So with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.